Hi there. So a really big problem that many people have to work with is their dog not coming back to them whenever they're calling them when they're on their walks. Um, the recall probably is the most important thing you can teach your dog, because when you can get your dog off the lead, they get to socialize with other dogs better. They get to investigate and they get to do lots of really cool doggy stuff, which they can't do when they're trapped on their leads. Reactive dogs become less reactive because the lead can create frustration, which makes them then more reactive to stuff in their environment. So there's loads of really good reasons to get your dog off the lead, but lots of people really struggle with this. So there are three main reasons why dogs don't come back when they're off their lead. The first one is that they are too distracted. The environment that you're letting them off in might be distraction in itself. Maybe it's very interesting, wooded area, lots of lovely sniffs. Perhaps there's foxes or cats go there quite regularly. Or maybe it's something in the environment. Perhaps it's other dogs, could be cyclists, it could be ducks, could be all kinds of things that's within that environment that's more interesting to them than coming back to you. So the first thing you can try and do is make that environment less exciting. And you can do that by really exposing your dog to it more if that's safe. Get them to play with dogs more often. Try to find opportunities to let them sniff, get all of this stuff out of their system so it's not as exciting. If you feel like they only get a few minutes to play with the dog every day, that's probably not enough. So that when they get the opportunity to, they're not going to come straight back to you. They want to get as much of that experience as they can. So the first thing is try to make those distractions boring by exposing your dog to them as much as possible, if it's safe to. The other thing is that you can't just teach a dog a recall in the class or at home and expect them to do it in their environment. You have to practice it in lots of different places. So make a list of all the things that are most distracting to your dog, whether it's places or things. Put them on a list and start practicing your recall in those places. Use a lead so that whenever you do call them, if they don't come straight to you, you can use your lead to bring them to you gently. But it means then that they don't get away with ignoring a recall command and your training continues to go forwards. If they ignore your recall command and do something else, then you take a wee step backwards. So this means that you get the full benefit of every training experience that you have with your dog. The second most common reason dogs don't come back to you is that there's a problem with rewards and timing. So the first thing is to be very consistent with your rewards. You should always have a reward for your dog. It should always be the same. And you should always have it ready. Very often, people will call their dog, and then as soon as their dog comes to you, then they start searching for a treat in their pocket. Maybe it's not in the pocket they went to, or it's in a different pocket. It's in a packet. They have to undo the packet. They have to find it. All of this causes a delay for your dog, and it adds frustration. What you should do is have your treat ready, the treat that your dog is expecting. And when you call them, it's in your hand ready. All they have to do is run straight to you and take that treat from you. Don't get them to sit. Don't get them to go round in circles or anything like that. Just get them to come, take the treat, and the recall is done. That's basically the start of your recall. You can make it fancy and do all of that other stuff later. But for now, that's really all you need to worry about. Until your recall is really reliable, don't make it any more complicated, and don't phase out the rewards too quickly. People think that it's cheating. When you go in your pocket to get a reward, your dog starts to show attention. That's a really good thing because they've associated all of that with the reward, and they're already starting to think about what might be coming next. That's actually what you want your dog to do. You want them to be properly aware of everything you're doing and really in tune with you. So when your hand goes into your pocket and they notice that, and now they're alert to you and you call them, it makes everything much easier. That's not cheating. So don't be in a hurry to phase out the rewards, because as soon as you stop giving them a reward, you don't give them the incentive to come back. And if they haven't properly learned their recall yet, at this stage, they're going to go, well, what was the point? Sometimes I get a treat, sometimes I don't. I don't know what the deal is here. I'm just going to keep sniffing this thing and I'll worry about that later. So you become less important in the environment and the distractions will start to overtake you. As we know, distractions is probably the number one reason why dogs don't come back. So keep those rewards going. And the third reason why dogs often struggle to not come back to you is because they don't get enough off-lead time. And I know that sounds a bit of a kind of a problem, because if you can't let them off, they can't get off-lead time. So then when you do, then they just want more and more of it. So more and more frequently fields are being set up so that they're enclosed and they're safe, and you can pay and rent these fields, and you can take your dogs to them, and you can use them for whatever you want, really. You can share them with your friends, or you can just go by yourself. But these are safe places for you that you can take your dog, where they can get off their lead and they can explore to their heart's content. You have no concerns about whether they're going to come back to you or not, because they're fenced in. So even if they don't come back to you, it's really only a time issue. You just have to wait until they get bored and come back. And that actually happens a lot faster than you think. So giving them that exposure to being off lead means they don't have this kind of kid in a candy shop attitude when they do actually get off the lead. This is especially important for dogs that maybe bolt and go missing for periods of time, because as soon as they get off the lead or get out the front door or whatever it is, they immediately go, wow, I'm free. And you start to try and catch them straight away because this is a problem. But when you take them to a secure field, you let them off, you're relaxed, you don't try to catch them straight away, because the point of being there is to allow them that time to explore and play in a off-lead way, which you perhaps don't get to do in your local park. So take advantage of places like that. When you do go to those places, give your dog 5 minutes just to kind of enjoy where he is, get to know where he is, catch up on all the smells. And then you can start practicing a little bit of recall while you're in there. You'll see over the following 10 or 15 minutes, your dogs will just get better and better and better at their recall. And then that'll do. That's enough training for today. Just enjoy the space that you have and let them get that all out of the system. And those are my 3 top tips. So I think go and get yourself a nice long lead so that you can always enforce a recall, and your dog does not get away with ignoring a recall command. Find some space so they can get off lead and play, and expose them to the things that distract them the most, and get those rewards right. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.